Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour. Today we are on Lucifer Arise's tournament. I am not playing at the moment. I am reviewing these replays back. I don't normally like to watch myself back and say, oh yeah, look how good I played or anything like that. So that's why I've kind of been putting these games off for a while. I don't usually like it. You'll probably know from watching my channel, very rarely do I watch my own replays back. But in this case, I didn't record the games. I thought it was a pretty good tournament all round, and it's only fair that you see every single game. So here I am going back to round one. I did play these a few weeks ago. They are against Ruiz. It's the USA versus GLA typical matchup on Tournament Desert that is usually played. It's a best of 7, so first to win 4 games. Going for my usual trusty dozer drop. Actually, yeah, everyone's pretty trusty dozer drop. And these games are pretty special, actually, because I haven't played Ruiz for a very, very long time. In fact, he's been very inactive. You very rarely see him online. If you're not familiar with him, I think he's either from... is he Armenian? I think he's from Armenia. Or something like that. Or Azerbaijan. I should really know these countries a lot better. I should know where he's from. I should do my research before I introduce these players. But... yeah, I think that's roughly where he's from. He is a very good player. You'll remember back in like was it 2014 or 2015? Maybe even 2013. This is how bad my memory is. I can't remember, but he got to the World Series final and played against Size in the final. He did get overrun in the final by Size. It was pretty much a walkover. It was either like 5-1 or 5-2, something like that. Maybe even more. I can't even fully remember. Actually, my Chinook's here getting picked off. Didn't even really realise. It's actually very bad losing 2 Chinooks almost in the very beginning of the game. But I have really screwed him over here with a doze drop, and a doze drop is very strong against GLA in the beginning. If you notice that his terrorists aren't going over there, then it is very strong. His workers do survive there. But what you want to do sometimes, if you lose your... let's see, I can't even remember if I cleared this up. I cleared this up pretty well, but I'd already lost 1 Chinook, and letting a Chinook go down to like 10% HP like that is not a very good situation. So I actually felt pretty good going into these games, and I'm pretty confident against Ruiz. I don't think I've lost to him in a tournament before. I don't even think I've played him that many times in a tournament before, but usually like when playing on the ladder, I have a pretty good record versus him. Is probably like between the region of 60 to 80% wins, something like that. So I'm pretty confident going in. I'm never really nervous going into any tournaments, to be honest, but going into this I was 100% relaxed, 100% felt like I was playing on my A game, but it does get a little bit ropey and a little bit rocky later on saying that. But yeah, what I was saying before is when you get the dozer crush over here and kill the workers, it's good for GLA to then quickly adapt and build a supply in the middle, which is what Ruiz did in this instance. I thought that would actually really screw him over, but because he quickly adapted and built a supply there, that actually kept him in the game, and that's a really good adaptation. So at this point, actually, Ruiz has got quite a bit of good damage off against me. He's also got a quad in my supply line now. I don't know if he kills that second Chinook or not. But at this point, when I am really set back, remember, I'm only on 1 dozer as well because I've dropped my other dozer off, so I've got to be careful of the dozer hunt as well. I don't really want to be losing the first game. USA generally... USA versus GLA actually is a very balanced matchup. I think if a supercomputer is playing GLA and there is absolutely no mistakes made and the APM is super high, I think USA should win every day. But it's really hard to pull that level of play off and beat USA the whole time. It's easier to play the USA just to move out with your group of Vs. But Ruiz has actually caused in the beginning of this game, in the first 4 minutes or so, he's actually caused quite a bit of damage to me. Killing 1 Chinook, that Chinook there collecting slowly slows my economy down. And he's picked off a V there. What else did he pick off? Can't remember what else he picked off. But I'm also on 1 dozer, so I'm a little bit hesitant to move that out and build a search and destroy. Sometimes when you move out with your Vs, what you want to do behind that is drop down a fire base, because that stops him doing a counter push. But at this point, I think I saw him... Oh, no, he's not building a palace yet. At some point, he does start building a palace, and that's when panic mode for the USA should set in. Maybe not panic mode, but you should increase the pressure on yourself to try and get through. Because as soon as GLA gets a load of damage off and gets the palace up, like I always say every game, getting buggies and quads is a situation you don't want to be in, and losing Vs like that is another situation you don't want to be in. Actually, my micro here is not on point at all. Lost quite a few Vs there, and I was just desperately trying to break through the middle and trying to get through the center to his base without him building up too much, because now he's on 3 supplies. It catapults GLA ahead. If he gets an oil and a palace now, he's in a super strong position. Meanwhile, I don't have actually very much. I've lost quite a few Vs, so I think I can't 100% remember, but I think I was a little bit surprised and a little bit shocked how good Ruiz was playing, especially since it's been so inactive. When you got people like me who is active in pretty much every single tournament, and Ruiz is generally, you never really see him on the ladder. I don't know if he's like secretly playing on Game Ranger or something like that. Well, maybe not secretly, it's just I don't play on Game Ranger. Maybe that is it. But yeah, at some point, where's the palace? I do see the palace eventually, and kind of prompts me to hurry up a little bit and get through. Ambulance taking damage there at the front. Don't really want to be doing that. It's a bit of a mistake from me. But when you are causing damage through the front, you also want to be careful at home. You want to be at this point, I'm worried about being dozer hunted. V getting picked off there. So actually, I said I was feeling pretty confident going into these games, but my micro doesn't look 100% on point. But actually, the palace is not going through. Not coming in yet. But generally, USA, as soon as it pushes through the middle and gets to the war factory, that's generally game over. So that was kind of my strategy in this. Sometimes you can go down the sides as well. Going down the sides is good. You just got to be careful with demo traps, and if he has a few decently placed tunnels, it can be hard to break through. Oil is now up for Ruiz. Did manage to clean the RPG up at the back there. Don't really want to be taking any damage. What I do to defend at home whilst you're also attacking out, I label my main army as 3. You'll see there they're all highlighted as 3, and then my army back at home will be on 4. So generally I attack with 3, and then I can double tap 4 to go home and defend if I need to. It just instantly takes the camera back. I think at this point I realized I wasn't getting through the middle, or wasn't having much success, so I decided to go around. Never really want to be attacking with a V. I should be really sending that back. But he did have quite a good defense over here. So he's got 2 tunnels, 2 RPGs there, quite a few techs. If I had an ambulance here, which I actually don't for some reason, it would have been easier, but he's picked up another V there, which is very good by Ruiz. Ruiz's micro is on point in these games. I can hear an oil being captured, and that's mine. Generally, when you're pushing out and you've got the enemy busy, and you know behind it you could get an oil, you always want to take that opportunity to get an oil. Actually, that's a little bit late for me. 7 minutes 50 is it pretty late. I think the quickest like a GLA can get an oil is like 2 minutes 30 or something like that. Is one around one of the quick average times to get an oil. So to be collecting it at that point for USA is a waste. Remember that an oil gets $1,000 per minute. So every minute that goes, I could have had $8,000 extra. But of course, it takes a hit to your economy building the Ranger and the capture upgrades. So at this point, I think he's now got a palace. And now I see that with my drone that I've got placed in his base. You'll see on 3,700, I've got a drone on his base. So I see that, and I realize that I need to push through the center ASAP and cause some damage. I have got search and destroy up now, so I know taking these engagements here are more favorable. I know his palace has only just been established, so he's got probably 1 buggy or 0 buggies out. And these kind of engagements here, all it takes is one wrong move from his technicals, him to lose a load of technicals, and the game can be completely swayed back into my favor. At this point, he's probably definitely got the advantage. Got the A10 though, and the A10's good to clear out these buildings. But now these tunnels without those buildings are actually pretty weak, because as soon as these technicals come in now, they're just going to instantly go down to all these fully loaded Vs. Got to be careful of that one. As soon as you see there's a load of RPGs inside of there, you've got to be really, really careful. So at this point, you see the 1 buggy. It was either 0 or 1. He's scared to take an engagement here because he knows the engagement will go bad. And as soon as I see an opportunity, I'm going to go instantly through, because what I need to do is close down these 2 buildings. They're really close together. I don't think that's got any units inside of it either. So it's a really easy building to pick off. And at this point, it's a massive mistake from Ruiz. He should have had some defense back at home, and he should have dropped some more tunnels back there. So him losing the palace now is a massive, massive blow. Even if I get pushed back here, I'll go over here and probably kill the oil. But really, I want to be closing down the war factory. If he does come in here, I can evacuate all my stuff, and with some nice laser locks, you can pretty much win this whole army. Not the greatest of engagements there by Ruiz, and he's lost a hell of a lot. And with the Vs and the missile defenders outside of it, they become hard to run over, so you can't run over them. So you kind of got to take the engagement, so the Vs tank the damage, and then you can laser lock with the missile defenders in there, pretty much unharmed, unless he specifically targets them. Another wave of Vs back at home. I was just spamming V for Vs and M for missile defenders, and get the other group of Vs through. And as soon as that arrives in his base, it was probably over just from that blob. But when the reinforcements arrive, you want to just hit the nail in the coffin. No point waiting until that first army dies and then sending the second lot in. You don't really want to be doing that. You want to be backing them up whilst they're maybe thinning out, or whilst you've got that army on the map. So yeah, GG 1-0. Jumping into game 2 then, as you know, I probably didn't mention in the last video, if you've been following Lucifer Arise Tournament, they're all matchups and then reverse. So the first matchup we chose was USA and GLA. There's a set list of the matchups that you have to choose from. I think USA Laser and Tank is one of the other ones. Tox and Stealth is one of the other ones. Inf and Demo is one of the other ones. Nuke and Tank is one of them. Basically, yeah, there's a few set matchups. There isn't many more than that. If I have missed any, then there aren't many. USA and GLA obviously is one as well. And I think the first map always has to be Tournament Desert. I don't think the first map always has to be USA and GLA, but typically throughout the whole tournament, I think I saw everyone was playing USA and GLA first, just probably because it was first on the list, I think. So yeah, you would do USA and GLA and then you would reverse it. So actually this was very bad by me. I think I lose both of my workers here. Super slow reaction, and both of the workers are very close. My terrorist is very slow as well, and actually that straight away has completely screwed me because that was already 50% built. So now I need to make the decision, am I going to send a worker over there to finish it, or am I going to copy what Ruiz did and build the supply here? As soon as you see a Chinook collecting from you, that's a massive advantage for him because he's taking 600 off your supply and then adding 600 onto his economy. So it's a difference of 1200. So it makes a big difference. I choose to copy Ruiz, so his strategy, or not really copy him. I just know if you're not going to be able to rebuild that, because there's chances are there's going to be a V dropped off or coming down the right hand side, and at this point I've got no defense on that right hand side either. So a V could come in and finish it off. So I chose to scrap it and make the supply in the middle instead. Ruiz pushing down this left hand side with the Vs, and I'm going in. Usually I go in with a tech RPG first. So tech RPG to cause some damage to his Chinooks, which is very good, and strong damage to get off against the USA in the beginning. He's not responded, similar to how I didn't respond in the other one actually, and he's actually picked off my workers here. So my economy really is very hit from very early on in this game. I do kill 2 of his Vs though, so that probably isn't worth it for him really, because I can scrap up these techs now and they become stronger as well. He does manage to clear up that. Really I should be running out of there. I can't remember. I think I was paying attention over here, and he's managed to kill my tech RPG, but really what I want to be doing is harassing, going over here, wait until his Vs go back and then go back in. That's going to cause a lot more damage to him. At this point he has dropped off 2 Vs very quick right in front of my arms dealer, and this completely screws me because I am in his base. But what this does is completely screws him as well, because he's got nothing back at home. Do kill one of my techs there, and actually that might come back to bite me. I didn't realize I TNT'd one of my own techs there. But in the meantime he's only dropped off 2 pretty empty Vs, but it's screwed over my supply. Sorry, my my main base. Technical actually getting picked off there, and now I'm basically left in a base raid situation. I don't think he's got a dozer, and I'm left with a super tech killing his base versus his V killing my base. It's a bit of a weird game. Zero just keeps giving these weird games recently. Don't want to lose that tech, because I think that's the last unit that I've got. V coming in here to kill my workers, and actually I think this is actually a really big game-changing moment, because if those tunnels get up, then it's an instant 100% loss for him. But he does manage to stop it. I actually thought he was going back to save this base then. So yeah, he's got 2 buildings left and no dozer. So at this point I thought I could win nice and easily actually, because I've got a few buildings left. I've got a scaffold. I've got this is going down, but I can just rebuild something as soon as he goes to defend it. His power's down, and he's got 1 building left. At 4 minutes 20 in the game, he's only got 1 building left, and there's only 1 unit for me and 2 units out for him. So a bit of a weird situation, and he does manage to scare my technical off now. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to build some scaffold to make sure I stay in the game. whilst microing this, so a little bit micro intensive at the moment. He's got his Hellfire drone out, which can actually shoot over. At this point, I don't know, should I have just started firing there and could I have finished it? I'm not 100%, and I don't know. The thing is, I can't risk that technical because that's the only unit I've got at this point. Got some scaffolds placed down in the center, but I've got to be careful because he's got a V there with a battle drone. He is still collecting, so he can rebuild these drones, and that V there is on a Vet 2, and he's got he's got 3 missile defenders in there, so he will kill that super tech. So yeah, left in a bit of a weird situation. Supply is going to be managed to stop it on 100%, which actually is good because they can cancel it, get the money back, and start building it over here where it's more protected. Super Tech actually causing a bit of damage there to the Chinook. But remember, USA buildings do self-heal, so straight away we're in a bit of a, well, a very weird situation. Does manage to combat drop in there, and combat drop is actually very, very strong. Because I've got 2 in there and 1 in there. So this 1 combat drop can actually drop the... does he kill my... yeah, he kills my Super Tech. So at this point I'm in a very bad situation because them 2 Vs and that combat drop is actually very strong, and I've only got 1 RPG and 2 RPGs in these buildings. So generally, if you're in this kind of situation, usually you can still win, but I think it's this 1 Ranger that causes me problems in a second. So I'm on $750 at this point. I'm just thinking I need to just drop down more tunnels and get more RPGs out and just pick off these Vs as they're coming at me. So actually that Ranger there only in about 20% of HP. I think actually if I'd have put them RPGs inside of there now, he wouldn't be able to clear that out. So actually a bit of an oversight for me. I thought at this point he had more Rangers than I thought. I thought he had like 3 or 4 Rangers, where actually he only had 1 very, very injured one. All of his Chinooks going down, and that vets up the RPGs inside of here. But the only problem here is that the angle that supply is built on, it means that this RPGs here can't protect it, so that supply is going to go down. So at this point I need to make a decision. Do I want to sell it? I don't know how much money I get back for this actually. 650. But basically I've got exactly the right amount of money, 1650. I need 1500 to build a supply, so I need to drop down a supply to start collecting at this point. Otherwise he's just going to kill that barracks there. His V's
low power.
He's on 4600, but it doesn't really matter at this point because he's only got that supply. But yeah, I'm forced to sell off the
right on schedule.
Forced to sell off the barracks, and I'm in a bit of a weird situation now because if he just goes like where the RPGs are not covering, he can just pick off this. And also these Vs are very rangy as well, so before these RPGs can get some shots off, the RPGs do take damage, especially I'm leaving 1 out open here, so it's just a bit of a weird situation you don't really want to find yourself in. Almost picked off a V there, but he has got battle drones. But yeah, that V being Vet 3, it means that the very little damage is caused here and he can just pick off these units. And that's literally my last couple of units. So I'm on $1,500. And yeah, it's a very bad situation. I think he does, yeah, he picks off the supply as well. He's trying to rebuild another supply, but and that is my last building, so I'm literally holding on by the skin of my teeth. But literally that's the only unit that I've got, and he can just keep picking off these supplies, and I can't win. I couldn't cancel that one then because I had no more money. It would have been, if I'd have cancelled that one, I would have died. So Ruiz does manage to pull it back 1-1. A little bit disappointed about that. It was mainly that dozer crush in the beginning that really screwed me over. And then that drop as well. I wasn't expecting, generally you don't see a drop of a fast TOW missile, TOW missile upgrade with just like 2 pretty empty Vs on the war factory and managed to win. Maybe I could have made a toxin tractor or something like that, but yeah, caught me a little bit off guard. Ruiz actually collected loads more money then. So yeah, that's game 2. So jumping into game 3 then, I think, did I choose this matchup or he did? I can't remember who chose this matchup. But either way, we're on Gorge Drought, one of my favourite maps. And we've got Stealth versus Tox. I think actually he chose this. Yeah, he chose the matchup. Because I think, did I choose USA GLA? I can't actually fully remember. But yeah, generally I steered away from choosing GLA mirrors. Actually, you'll notice probably throughout this tournament my GLA mirrors needs a little bit of work, I think. But what I kind of wanted to do here was you can take a stealth supply back here. So build a supply there, stealth it, and then chances are that he's not going to know that there's a supply there. And what I wanted to do was get a really fast terror tech. So I think my first worker there built a supply. I want to get a technical out straight away, and also I want to get quite an aggressive tunnel forward as well. So I get a tunnel here. As soon as the tech terror is ready, I'm going to go inside of that tunnel. Then I'm going to evacuate from that one, go straight to the war factory and hit it. And then behind that, I'm going to upgrade to a third supply, drop down loads of tunnels, try and get to Palace. And that's generally my line of thought for winning the stealth versus Tox. And actually, it's quite a common strategy. There's nothing secret or nothing special about it. Generally, you want to be causing damage to Tox before he gets... actually, he's gone for 3 supplies here. So he's got a strong economy. But generally, yeah, before he gets to... two war factory spam, that's when you want to before that point is when you want to kill GLA. So at this point I'm using the distraction tech. So you see this one here is empty. Ruiz is probably not aware enough that you can select it like that, and if you drag a box around it and it selects, then that means there's nothing inside it. But that was a complete distraction. Here's the real attack, and now I'm going to try and hit his war factory. I think I do kill it and actually really damage his war factory. Really, I could have targeted in the middle there and tried to kill both buildings, but that's a really good hit by me. Behind this, I want to kind of drop down a third supply, but I didn't realize at this point that he's already on 3 supplies. So as soon as that rebuilds and he gets onto a second war factory, well, actually you can get onto a second war factory really quick because he was already on 3 supplies. At this point, he's got more techs out than me. I think he does pick off another one and vets up one of his units. I've used a scrap deny there for the demo trap. My third supply is now up for me. So at this point, I thought I was ahead if I just hold on against this. The last thing you want as in this matchup or in any GLA matchup is a tunnel really close to your base like that. I think I spotted this. Did I spot it? Or did I just anticipate it was there? I think I just anticipated it was there. But the last thing you want to be doing, especially against Tox, is allowing a worker to get in your base like that. Even if it means sacrificing these techs, which I think I lose 1. You want to stop that worker at all costs, because otherwise just a load of scorpions are going to come out of there. It's really hard to close down that tunnel, especially when he's ahead in the tech count than me as well. So yeah, I'm on 3 supplies. I want to drop down more tunnels. Really, I should be getting a faster palace. That's one thing I need to really learn from this, is to drop down a faster palace. I need to send that rebel over there, I'm not sure. I probably pressed Q on that and selected all units by mistake. Yeah, I want to get both of them buildings, drop down a palace super quick. But at this point, I don't actually have that much money. I think I've invested it in quite a lot of stuff. I'm only collecting with 2 workers here, which is a mistake. And he hasn't realized they actually have that supply. But yeah, I just want to stop any workers building tunnels at this point. That's my line of thinking. At this point, he is already on 3 supplies for a good chunk of the game. I don't know if actually we can see. You can actually see supplies selected. But he's on an oil as well. Not getting his refinery is a bit of a mistake. But as soon as you start seeing these kind of units, and I've not even started building a palace yet, that's a very bad situation to be in. Probably should have just scrapped those tunnels and made a faster palace. Can't remember if I get to palace or not. But you'll see actually he's ahead with the oil and refinery capture as well. But at this point, yeah, I had a decision to make. Do I want to drop down a fast palace and then have fewer tunnels and no hijackers? Or do I want to drop down more tunnels and hijackers and then drop down the palace? That's the decision you got to make. So hijacker is useful. Got to remember, hijacker only costs $600. Actually, he's brought a radar van into that does get scouted, which was a good move from him. But I kind of anticipated this attack coming, and that's why I dropped down all these tunnels over a palace, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to hold on here. So this was actually, I thought it was actually not a bad holding on against this push. It's like Scorps with the rockets, they just tear through everything that GLA stealth can make. But in the meantime, I'm still not on a palace, which is a mistake. Got some decent map control though, and you generally want to be getting hold of these turrets. Dropping down another supply. But yeah, my mistake here, or a mistake looking back, is not building a palace. To be on the 6 minutes mark and already have quite a decent economy and not dropping down a palace, I need to be dropping down that sooner and skipping a few of these tunnels until just delaying them until a little bit later. But either way, it's going to be a hard time against Tox. Whether I drop down a palace and have fewer tunnels to defend, that's going to be hard in itself, or whether I build loads of tunnels and have no palace, that's going to be hard as well. Generally want to be getting to buggies very, very quick. So yeah, sold off a supply there because I realised it's probably going to go down. I'm only collecting with 2 workers there, which is a mistake. The supply probably isn't the best placement either if you do build it back there, so probably why I wasn't on as much money. I reckon he's probably earned a load more money than me at the moment. He's already ahead with palace. He's on 3 war factories, so I've got a mammoth task now to try and hold on against this, dropping down loads of tunnels. I actually thought I was playing alright this game. My micro and my speed was pretty on point. I got that TNT off in the beginning, but to hold on against this attack now is very, very tough. He's actually using the Control and F function there. But you'll see here I've got a healthy army out, loads and loads of quads, but just the sheer amount of Scorps, they just tear through quads. So I can only really just pick off a few of his quads and then I have to kind of go back. I can try and engage. I've got hijackers here as well. But his army is just much, much stronger and just tears through. Even with the support of the tunnels and with the RPGs, hijacker, which I should really be using, I'm actually not collecting with the full amount of workers. But yeah, he's causing massive, massive damage. And if he gets that war factory, then it's going to be really, really hard. At this point, I tried to flank and tried to pick off a few units, but there's just so many more Scorps arriving. He's now on a refinery as well. He's on the 3 war factories, spamming. So it's really, really hard. You see these quads hardly do any damage at all to these. The quads actually do hardly any damage to the Scorps, so it's really, really hard. Palace is now established, but kind of way too late and in the wrong place. And Ruiz's Scorp army just continues to push forward. As soon as you kind of lose this base, it's not really worth holding on unless he's going to make loads and loads of mistakes. Because even if I manage to push this back and eventually reclaim this, as soon as I get a load of buggies out, he's going to be on like buses. He's going to be on Tox Rebel Ambush, which can just completely level armies of buggies. So he does go ahead in that one. And to be honest, I was kind of not so disappointed about losing that one because Tox is generally a lot stronger than Stealth, so I think that I should be winning the next matchup. Okay, so we're on for the rematch of the last game. The reverse armies. I am Tox in the north now, and Ruiz is Stealth in the bottom. What I want to be doing here, it was actually a little bit laggy this game. It actually went randomly a little bit laggy. I'm not 100% sure why. Not that it impacts much of the game, I don't think, but did go a little bit laggy. But what I would generally want to be doing here is just kind of establishing myself on the map and just kind of repeating what Ruiz did in the previous game. There's nothing special about it. You just want to be getting up to Scorpions, and you want to be pumping out 3 war factories and just overrunning the stealth. The difference here that I notice now looking back is that he went 3 quick supplies, whereas I'm not necessarily doing that. One of my tunnels that I will always do will always be near an extra supply. Like this tunnel here, yeah, it's useful and it's good for garrisoning this and good for harassing. But if I did another tunnel here, then I'm not actually securing any other supply. So this supply here, building a tunnel by it, means later on when I want to upgrade to a 3rd supply, I can instantly just drop one down and it'll be protected because my tunnel from the beginning is already there. Ruiz actually, because I'm not actually in the middle at all, has actually established a sneaky tunnel, and he's actually gone for 3 supplies again. Looking back, that's a difference in both of the games of the GLA games where he's done 3 supplies and I've only done 2. So maybe something I need to look at if I need to do 3 supplies more often in the future. Generally, though, on most maps, 2 supplies will beat a 3 supply. Will beat a 3 supply build. But one decent strategy is to actually creep down this right hand side, which is what I'm doing at the moment. And you want to kill his tech buildings, so he can't really go late game, because if he does go late game, you're going to have these 2 tech buildings ahead. So at this point, I'm already killing his refinery. I actually value the refinery more or on par with the oil. But at this point, I lost my technical, and again, he's more techs ahead than I was. Actually, super bad attention span from me there, losing that tech RPG. Very, very bad. But at this point, yeah, because I didn't have a decent tech army to kind of repel this, he's able to bring a toxin tractor in, unless I've got a load of technicals back at home, which I don't think I do. And meanwhile, while I'm distracted, he's actually establishing a tunnel right outside of my war factories. This is very, very bad, and at this point, I don't even realize it. But it's about to come and bite me. And he's also making a rebel and getting the oil again, so he's massively ahead in terms of economy. I think I've ran over a couple of his workers, but he is still managing to collect, and I've lost another technical. I actually did notice that and actually picked off his worker there. But even though I'm tox, he's at this point in the game, 3 minutes in, he's economically ahead by a long shot. He's already got his oil, already got a 3rd supply. Okay, I killed a few workers, but he's already on a 3rd supply, and he's got an aggressive tunnel pretty close to my base. So have I on his 3rd supply, but he's got quite a few technicals out, so he is able to defend it if he wants to. But at this point, Ruiz is deciding to go all inside of his tunnel and go straight for my base. And to be honest, it's actually a strategy that Caro will use, even against stealth versus tox. He will often just go to the base. I actually lost a fake scaffold there, which was, I think, how much does that cost? 650 or 750, something like that. Yeah, it's 750? No, wait, 650. Yeah, 650 for a fake arms dealer. Yeah, so I lost that, so it's a massive hit, and this is pretty much my whole army at this point. You see, his economy is just so much further ahead. I'm dropping down another tunnel, but at this point, it's actually very laggy as well, so even if I wanted to do the most immense micro with these tech RPGs, it's going to be very, very hard for me at this point, I was thinking. So I really had to hold on at this point, but he's got a super nice army there. His RPGs are tucked nice in the back. He's also got hijackers in the mix, quads in the mix. He's at this point, it didn't even engage. He's just closed down my war factory. It's going to be GG, massively economically ahead. So GLA mirror, probably something I need to be working on, especially on Gorge Drought with that 3 supply build order. Looking like it's very, very strong. You see the supplies difference collected. He actually collected loads more. So remember, this is a best of 7. So at this point, I'm 3-1 down. So I'm in a very bad situation. So jumping into game, well, we are now 5. Jumping into game 5. At this point, it was my army pick because I lost the previous 2 games. And I'm basically playing for my life in the tournament now. This is round 1. I'm already 3-1 down in the opening games. I was feeling pretty confident and I thought I was playing pretty well, but that GLA mirror absolutely wrecked me, and that V drop in the beginning wrecked me as well when I was GLA. So at this point, I picked Inf versus Demo, and I picked this map, Arena of War. I think I'm pretty strong on it, and I was 100% concentrated at this point. I cannot lose any game from this point on. I need to win 3 in a row, and Ruiz just needs to win 1 game. So generally, when you're Inf, you just want to be, you can build a few mines in the beginning, you can build a few bunkers. I've got minigunners out scouting for the workers. You don't want to let him really get any aggressive tunnels far forward, which is exactly why I'm sending the minigunners out. But they have a short vision though, so at this point I do see that one, but I need to stop both of these workers really. I need to make a decision. Am I going to chase that one, or am I going to go and close that one down? I think I choose to go and close that one down. But at this point, yeah, I've stepped it up. I'm concentrating 100%. I think I even took a little break in between the last game and this one. 100% concentrating. I cannot afford to take any damage. I need to be closing this one out nice and comfortably. I'm taking the advantage in the fight back to Ruiz. You do always get 3 crates in your base. I think it is a $100 per crate in the beginning, so it does boost you ahead a little bit, but it boosts both players ahead. You've got to remember. Got to chase this worker, but at this point I'm feeling pretty comfortable about this matchup because I've already denied pretty much all of his workers. That tunnel there was closed down, and to actually establish a nice control on this right hand side is actually super strong as well. So bunker going down back at home. I've built mines, and actually that's worked out perfectly for me, because if you ever build a supply, this is exactly how you want it. You want it sideways like that with the mines all the way around, but so close that the trucks can collect perfectly, but without the mines spawning there. So it's actually very difficult to do, and actually probably just luck there how I've actually managed to get it. Here was actually too close to try to do the same thing, but actually it's worked out not so bad because the bunker there is defended. At this point, I think the lag had gone at this point, and it was a lot easier to micro, so feeling 100% more comfortable. That's what the lag there is, the speed that I'm used to playing in. But I've got a fair few units out. Flamers and outposts are super strong. I just want to kill a few RPGs here, and then I want to come in and pick off the outposts. Sorry, pick off the quads with the RPGs. Even if I lose one here, just look at how much stuff he's just lost there, and he's probably going to lose even another quad. I don't want to let too many outposts get popped open though. But I want to pick off loads of his quads. Remember, his quads cost 750 because he is demo. And at this point I've denied pretty much every tunnel. I've already gone for a fast third supply on the right hand side. Generally as China, you want to be going for a fast third supply where it allows it. He's got a sneaky worker on this left hand side. He is trying to establish these forward tunnels, and his confidence is probably pretty high. He's already 3-1 up, and I was struggling in the first few games. So actually it's not looking so comfortable for me at the moment, especially with him getting Palace, which actually I don't realise at this point. It's also going for a fast oil. So actually, looking back, Ruiz is actually playing pretty good in these games, I think. But as soon as I get to push him back like this and clear out the middle and get to his base, that's the position that I want to be in. He has got a worker down this bottom right hand side. I think I've let that through without realising. But I'm already on the third supply on the right. I'm bunkered in, not really taking that much damage in the early game. I've let a few outposts die. But it's looking pretty good for an infantry player to be in this pitch position at this point. But yeah, I didn't really realise he was on Palace. But at the end of the day, does it really matter that he's on a Palace at the moment? Because as soon as you're on third supply, and as soon as you get a Lotus out, these buildings here are going to be captured. Those two buildings are going to be captured. Lotus can capture the enemy base and stuff like that. I've stopped him from building a third supply in the centre. So really, it's only Jarman and maybe a bus that's going to be causing massive damage. His tunnel does go down there. I'm not sure if he cancelled it at that point or not. But a bit of a mistake for me. I've left the oil completely unguarded and let the worker all the way through. You see my vision here is completely in the darkness for that one. Pushing forward here, but Ruiz is not interested in defending that. He's actually going in the base, trying to pick off some stuff. That's actually not very full looking back. It's actually only 4 RPGs inside of there. But at this point, I'll probably just go for the base trade, and actually I can defend this with the army back at home. It's not like I've got nothing back here. So the outposts and maybe an ECM as soon as the propaganda center is finished. Can just go and defend this. But meanwhile, this is the army that he needs to be worrying about, really. He doesn't really want to be letting his palace go down at this point. He is now on 2 oil, so actually is not in that bad of a situation. He's got an empty bus there. Palace is taking heavy damage. He has gone for demo bikes. But at this point, even if I lose this whole army, as long as I've killed a load of tunnels and killed the palace, maybe even killed his barracks. I can't remember if I killed his barracks or not. Pick off a bus is good because it's $1,000. Jarman in there is actually causing pretty good damage. Bus and RPGs actually with a Jarman actually causes very big damage apparently against him. So he actually handled that pretty well. He cleared it up, but he did lose his palace though, and that was the main thing that I wanted to get down. So he can't make any more buses. He has got 1 bus though, and he has still got his Jarman. So clearing out his tunnels at the bottom right. I don't really want to allow this. I really want to just take him on a... I don't really want to let him come in my base while I'm taking him on a head-on engagement back in his own base. I should be getting Lotus anytime now. Sometimes drop down a second barracks. Actually, I got 3 barracks. Hotkey for Lotus is S, so you can just build a barracks, press the S key for Super Lotus. With infantry anyway. With normal China it is B for Black Lotus. But it's looking pretty comfortable for me. In the meantime, I've sent that dozer, I think that was over here, and now to the middle. And I've got Lotus there as well. And I've got ECMs in the mix now as well. So this is a really hard army, really, for Ruiz to be dealing with. But yeah, dropping down these bunkers, they're only $700. They come free with mines. You can drop down a barracks, only 500. Make some RPGs that are vetted up as standard. Actually, he's caused quite a bit of damage there, but as soon as I've kind of bunkered myself in the middle and got, well, what's this going to be, number 4th supply and 5th supply, as soon as I've got that, I can just drop down two or even 3 war factories, spam a load of infantry, and it's going to be very hard for Demo to win at that point. So yeah, securing the center at this point, super bunker style, playing ultra safe. I don't want to risk anything here. I want to make sure I'm winning this game. Carpet, I think, does that clear it down to the hole? Yes, so these units here now are stuck. You can't defend this anymore. I moved my trucks out of the way there because he sent 1 quad just to harass. But as soon as I've cleared this, now he has to take me on in a head-on engagement. Probably is not going to be here, and it's probably not going to be on this right-hand side because of these bunkers. And it's probably not going to be here because this bunker actually looks a bit like a StarCraft style city at this point. Mistake for me there. Actually almost losing that truck. It is healing though from the subliminal messaging, or from the messaging tower from the outpost. That's actually a mistake there. I've not got the subliminal messaging upgrade. But I just want to really, at this point, bunker in the whole middle. There's so many bunkers everywhere, he can't really engage me anywhere. Apart from maybe here, which is I think where I tried to congregate my army in a minute. Ruiz has taken out the reinforcement pads. I've dropped down a 2nd war factory because I'm so economically ahead at this point. And also, I'm going MiGs because the counter to buses is MiGs or Helix. So you see these bunkers over there, they're just so strong. $700 is so strong, and at this point I think I can even pick off another bus of his as well. So he's in a really bad situation. I'm feeling pretty comfortable about winning this game. Long distance collecting there from the middle. Actually, I could use them trucks. You never want to have trucks idle like that, especially in a situation like this. Really, I should be selecting them and selecting them to collect from maybe the far. Get them to collect from the far pile. As soon as you hear, as soon as you're in this situation, I'm dominating the map. I have artillery and a carpet. It's probably going to be coming in. Where's the carpet? Actually, did I place the carpet down? Oh, I used the carpet earlier, didn't I? Artillery coming in, just clearing up some workers. The carpet was used down the bottom right, wasn't it? But at this point, he's got a demo bikes out, so that they actually still can cause some damage. But you got to remember, if he's building demo bikes, he's probably not going to have many other units. He's probably just going to have demo bikes. But Jarman and demo bikes is really strong. Here's the carpet. Looks like it's come off the cooldown. It's one of the quickest cooldown time powers. He's now on no supplies there. He's got 1 oil and this pretty healthy supply here. I think I did capture something of his there, and that's distracted him. Generally, when you're attacking, you want to leave your Lotus to capture something until you're attacking or distracting somewhere else. So you want to like throw him off rather than just capture him when you're not doing anything. It gives him 100% at the time to try and defend against it. But even here, if I lose all of this stuff, his palace is on the verge of death, his barracks, his supply, they're all very damaged. He's lost all of his workers there. It's not even worth him probably rebuilding. It's not even worth building a new worker on there because he's only got $150 to collect. And the worker obviously costs $200. But again, I'm playing super safe. I'm making an internet center behind another bunker. So the amount of bunkers I've actually got on this map is actually pretty crazy. But yeah, I think at this point, do I finish off his... Oh, I actually come in to kill the radar van. Anticipated that was coming because Lotus has been here capturing some of his buildings. So now Lotus has free reign again, apart from that quad. But Lotus does get out of there. But Ruiz is in a very poor situation now. He's got very little map control. He's on $2,300. He's got a couple of demo bikes. He's got a Jarman. But I'm on MiGs. I'm, like I said, I'm playing for my tournament life, so I'm playing 100% safe at this point. I don't want to lose my internet center, and I don't want this game to go super, super late when I have no hackers. So generally, I don't recommend building an internet center, but with Inf, I probably more so do. Especially when you've got like bunkers, you've got money and cats to defend it and stuff. So yeah, at this point, I don't know if I can't remember if I was thinking I need to destroy his oil or not, but I do need to destroy his oil. Because that's one of the only things keeping him in the game. I think I do go over there with the army. Can pick off a few of his units with the MiGs. Actually, what I think I did there, I tried to pick off that worker that was repairing the palace, so then my carpet can come in. Got another MiG hit there, but his palace is a really key building that I want to pick off. He's only got a few quads. Actually, I missed that. I think was that a demo bike? I think it was a demo bike or Rebel Ambush. But even when he does a really good hit like that, I know his support powers and his money are limited. He's not going to be able to use them every 5 seconds, his support powers. So my secondary economy is ahead. I'm ahead in terms of normal economy as well with the supplies. I've got this supply, and that whole middle is almost mined out. I've got the artillery platform and the refinery to build cheaper units, 10% cheaper. So really, I'm not worried at any point here. I just want to just close the game out without risking my really, really strong position at all. If you got a bit of money, I think I've actually floating loads here. I've got 10k. Yeah, I think if I just build a few helixes here, he doesn't have that many quads out actually, so you can actually come in with the MiGs and the helixes, use the MiGs to take out the quads, and then go in with the helixes and GG. Only collected with 3 workers there. It's a big mistake from Ruiz because that's his only supply, so he really wants to be collecting that on full force, so he wants to have 6 workers there. I've got another attack of mine coming down the right hand side, but I've got so many helixes out now. I can't remember if these finish the game or not, but either way, it's no surprise at this point. It's a really strong position for me to be in. His quad's a little bit out of position now. I'm not sure. Does he walk into the bunker? Actually, a waste of quad zone. You see these bunkers just so strong. Mine's dropped right outside of his tunnel, so then he can't defend this. I've dropped him on that right side, so he's going to probably pop and want to go over here. Now he can't. Artillery came in to finish that tunnel, but actually it didn't succeed. I should have my MiGs coming across the map now because they're going to be useful for killing the buses, but I don't know where they are. Still back at home. Bit of a mistake from me. Probably just micro in here, but the ECMs and the actually all of his buses have gone down there. So again, even though it's a trade-off and I've lost a load of units, it's not bad at all because I'm massively economically ahead. Helix is just coming in and just wrecking the base of Ruiz, and it's just a matter of seconds now at this point before he GG's. So yeah, GG. And like I said, I was 100% concentrating for all that because I didn't want to go out in this tournament, especially in round 1 against the player. Usually I don't think I've ever lost against Ruiz before, but I don't think so anyway. But yeah, generally I should be beating a player like Ruiz, although he is a very, very strong player. So jumping into the next game then. So now I need to win the reverse of the matchup we just played. So I'm demo now. We're on Arena of War again. He is infantry, and at this point I've got to be careful because I want to cause damage to Inf early. So I want to be getting tunnels up nice and close to his base, like here. Here I want to be securing this right hand side as well. But at the same time, I've got to be careful if I'm going to go for a terror attack. That means I'm not going to have a quad as my first unit, and in which case, if he goes to Helix, that actually screws me over quite badly. So I can't remember. Usually what I do is send my first worker. I can't remember if I did it in this situation. Send my first worker just to scout the base and see if he made or not a helix. I can't remember if I do that or not. I think I am. So yeah, the first worker is literally just to scout and see if he's going to helix or not, because that then determines what I'm going to build next. I don't think I spot it though.
A warrior has fallen.
So I'm still left guessing. But I think I did. I don't know if I can't remember if I was thinking helix or not. I think I expected it, but I still wanted to go attack Terra first. I want to hit a building and then behind that go quads. Only thing here is I've skipped the tunnel on the top left, so actually I can build a tunnel here instead. I don't have money to spam tunnels everywhere. If you're going to go for a Terra Tech, generally you've only got money to build 3 tunnels and not 4. If you don't go a Terra Tech, then you've probably got money to build 4 tunnels. This is my Terra Tech, and I'm going to kill the minigunner at this point. I think I let my worker die, which is pretty bad because I do want to establish this tunnel here. And he is going to helix, by the way, so I can't remember. My next few units should be quads anyway. Not yet. There should be quads anyway. But as soon as I see the helix, as soon as he starts chasing my technical, that's instantly bad news for him. And I want him to chase that technical all day, really, because that gives me more time to get more quads out. But remember that, I think that's the tech. No, that's the empty one, actually. Actually, I've come in with this one. And the reason I'm unloading them there is because I'm anticipating mines. I don't want to lose the technical and the terrorists. But in this case, he hasn't produced the mines anyway. But that's why I unload them back there. At this point, he has come in with the helix. And I've just got them targeted on the helix. Does he lose this one? No, I think he unloads pretty much over here. But remember, I'm playing for my tournament life again. I don't want to be losing this. And he's actually done 2 helixes. That actually got units inside. Yeah, it has got a few units inside. So I don't know if he's just trying to close this one out quickly. And that's generally sometimes the trap that people fall into, is they want to try and... They think they're ahead and they just want to close it out nice and quickly. But when the other player is now 100% concentrating, you want to do exactly the same. Actually... Does he lose this helix before it unloads? Yeah, he does. That's a very good pick off. And as soon as I've picked off 2 helixes like that, massive boost to my confidence. He is now 2 big units down. It's now established a war factory and actually got a 3rd helix. It's a bit crazy. Technical coming down the right hand side for me. I think this one is just empty for me, and I just want to place it here and I just want to harass, just want to cause some damage. He has now moved in with his infantry army that was over there, but you just want to, at that point, just line up your quads and engage it. Yeah, Ruiz is not playing good in this game because you can see he's only putting a few units inside of his helixes. My technical is way back here, so he doesn't risk the mines, but at the same time now he's not collecting, just from a $500 unit. At this point I've got no tunnel on this left hand side supply, so it's bad news for me because he can now pick off these, but I can just send 2 or 3 quads to attack. But at this point I'm causing big damage to him as well. Quads there have picked off his supply. I'm picking off his buildings. He wasn't collecting there for a hell of a long time. I want to pop open this outpost, really. Pick off his dozer as well if I can, which I think I do. And then if I pick off his war factory, you can't rebuild anything. That helix did actually manage to clear up them 2 quads that I sent after it, but I've got a load of more quads back at home. And his war factory is now down. He's losing trucks left, right and centre. His other supply is down, and he's only got a barracks and airfield at this point. He is killing my other supply though. At that point I only had $850. I could rebuild one over here if I wanted to, but the quads are going to come in and actually save this. And this helix is going to go down. And this is actually, dare I say it, pretty much a whitewash. Every attack that he did was not strong enough at all. He was loading his helixes half full. It was very, very bad play there from Ruiz. Disappointing, actually, from his point of view. Good for me, but disappointing from his point of view, considering how strong he was playing in the first few games, and especially those the GLA mirrors that he did. So yeah, GG. So the score at this point is tied 3-3. The final matchup, I think we both agreed on the air mirror. Air mirror was one of the matchups. I think it was meant to be used in a tiebreak situation, although the rules were a little bit unclear to start with, just for a little bit of a mix-up. But we agreed on an air mirror, and pretty confident going into this because I I'd only recently watched Ruiz versus Size's air mirror, the really epic game, and I kind of know what Ruiz's style will be. He will want to do a money grab, and my style is to kind of hit the airfields and keep his raptor count down, similar to what Size does. Similar kind of style. But yeah, I'd recently also, I can't remember how many months ago it was now, that I won the Air Force Mirror tournament. I think I only lost like one, or did I lose one game in the whole tournament? And that was in the final against Boyka, I think, or did I lose one before that? I can't remember, but either way, I'd won it pretty strongly as well, so I'm feeling super confident going into this. It's 3-3, so I really do need to feel confident anyway. Next game literally is going to win the game. One thing that I do is at some point you're going to want to be probably targeting the Chinooks. Actually, I don't really do that anymore, but if you are going to target the Chinooks, you want to drop a drone down rather than the center of his base, because if you had a drone there, it's going to be completely useless. But if you had a drone here and you can see both of the Chinooks, and when they're collecting, when you're at the other side of the map, you can decide when you're coming in which Chinook you're going to target, and if targeting the Chinooks at that point is a good idea. For example, if he's got 3 Chinooks there and a Raptor flying around, probably you don't want to be doing it because the point defense lasers are so strong. So the colours are a bit confusing here because it's pink and purple. He does hit my power, which generally is pretty strong because that slows my production right down in the early game. I think I picked off a dozer then. Have I picked off both his dozers? I think I did. So dozers are 1,000 each. So you hit 2 dozers and that's 2,000 lost. Whereas he's hit the power, which costs $800. But it has slowed my production down completely, so it is swings and roundabouts. So yeah, I thought he was going to go for my power again, so I've dropped down 2 powers. In the meantime, I've got my Raptors grouped up. I've got 2 over there. Actually, I don't know if these have fired or not. I think that's a mistake from me. But really, I want to group them up. I'm recollecting them now. You want to group them up. Want to get 4, and you want to hit the side of the airfield. See 3 Raptors down there, which is much stronger than hitting a power plant and a supply, in my opinion, because I can just rebuild the supply and I've got extra Chinooks. I'd rather hit the units because then his his damage output and the amount of stuff that he can do is limited. See, I managed to use my point defense lasers there from the Chinooks the Raptors that are still flying around. I managed to deflect the missiles there, and just based on those 2 hits alone, me hitting his airfield and then me defending my own airfield, that's straight away me massively ahead compared to Ruiz, and dropping down another 2 airfields just in case one of these does go down. I might lose a few Raptors. I've instantly got another 2, but generally it's the build order you want to be going for anyway. And then you want to, if you do fill both of them airfields, then you want to be going for a 5th airfield. When you've got 5, then I would switch into like strategy center, war factory, stuff like that. War factory for routing V's across to the enemy's base, and then you also want to be going for Comanches as well. It's another good strategy. Actually, a bit of a mistake there from me. I had loads of Raptors there, but weirdly that didn't go down. Again, one of his attacks has failed, and at this point, that must be really annoying for him, because if he killed both of them buildings then that would have been a really strong position for him. But the fact that he has messed up another attack, even though I just missed that one up there, then it's still really good for me. One of his dozers has gone down. I'm still massively ahead in the Raptor count. One of his airfields is taking heavy damage. You always want to target like that kind of corner. I've got so many Chinooks because he's killed the supply, so why not collect from his own supply? Chances are that he's probably not going to be targeting them. He's probably not even going to realize or have the time to do anything about it. Really nice hit there, and bad by me, leaving all them Raptors sat on the ground doing nothing. But I don't know if I'm paying attention back here. I am concentrating back here. I want to keep... So you see at this point I've killed all of his airfields. And once again, similar to when he played Size, he's getting the oils as well. So he's going to be on... Very shortly, he's going to be on 4 oils there and there. Choose one of the missiles to kill the scaffold that was building. But at this point, I just want to keep his raptor count down, because without raptors, he can't cause any damage to me. So I've just got complete free reign. So I just got to keep up the actions per minute, keep up the damage on him, and just keep those raptors down. He literally cannot do anything without raptors. So, but saying that though, he did manage to get up to. He's now on almost 4 oils, 5, 6 oils. So, but I am collecting from his supply as well. They will share it. Another one of his airfields has gone down. I want to keep these dozers down as well. Even though he's got loads of oils, each one of these dozers is 1,000, so it's still a lot. But he does have loads of money though, because he's only placing down these airfields, which only cost 800.
Unit lost.
And as soon as I get up to a load of raptors, then I want to be hitting the command center, dozer hunt him, and then it's GG. Because otherwise he's just going to keep producing dozers all day long. At this point, some players would probably switch from hitting the airfields to suddenly hitting the money. Suddenly you want to... it'll take 3 raptors to kill one of the oils. But as soon as I switch into that, then he's going to be able to get all of these airfields up. So I'd rather let him have $1 million in the bank. It doesn't matter. As long as he's got no units and no command center, no dozer, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's my line of thinking. Let him have all the money in the world. It doesn't matter. You want to pick off the units, because units win games. Money does not win games. Units do. So at this point, I did switch into Comanches. My airfields are now pretty much all full, so I'll switch into Comanches instead. Hotkey for Comanches is C. And then I'm just grouping my raptors up and circling the Comanches. So now these Comanches are 100% protected by the point defense lasers. So there's now nothing that he can do with this Comanches. He has to. He has to either attack my base or do something different. So his last... Is that his last airfield? His last airfield that he's built is going to be destroyed. The Comanches tear through the raptors so fast. But he is coming to capture my base though, and I do make a bit of a mistake in a minute. You're probably going to laugh actually. But just picking off his last few dozers, he has managed to rebuild the command center. But at this point, I've got so many raptors that I'm going to stream across the map and just pick off everything. He's now completely dozeless, and I just need to pick off the last few buildings. So, but he does have a load of ranges, and he is capturing my base. And this is a bit of a mistake by me not defending this as well as I probably should. Comanches just need to be put on guard mode, and this would all be cleared up. But it's a little bit messy. I do manage to clear it up. And now he literally doesn't have anything. He's got 10 grand. I'm destroying the oils here, but just to clean up the map, I thought, make it tidy. Clean all the pink off the map was kind of my strategy. But really, I don't need to. Looking back now, I just need to destroy these buildings. But you got to remember, I can't see the whole map like we can now as well. So I don't know if he's got a dozer somewhere else. Can see pretty much all of it, but he could have like a dozer up here or something. He does go for a drop with his last few rangers, last-ditched attempt. My dozer gets picked off there by the rangers, weirdly. Got to be careful as well. The splash damage from raptors actually do kill the airfields if you were targeted too much. But at this point, he's capturing my base, and I was fully concentrated on just... I don't know if I was typing to him or not. I think he was... I don't know if he was typing something. But, yeah, you'll notice I've let my command center get captured really, really stupidly. And I'm actually dozeless at this point, because I think he killed my last dozer with those rangers just then. But, I mean, as long as he can't produce many buildings now or anything, he's still done for. He just captured a few of my buildings, actually important buildings as well, capturing the command center. He's actually captured an airfield as well, and a supply. I don't think I even realized about the supply for a very long time. He has got some missile defenders in my base now as well, but it's really just his last few buildings. He's on no dozer. He's got absolutely nothing. He's got a load of Chinooks in my base. It actually looks like he's got quite a bit of pink in my base, but it's just it's my own buildings that he's captured. He's on 13,500, but you see what I mean about units win games?
Lost.
Yeah, he's got all that money in the bank, but what difference does it make when I've got 100 Comanches over your base? So, He's actually got a Comanche out there. Did he build that? I think he built that from my airfield. But now I just want to finish off these last few buildings. I think I recognize that's his last building that he captured. And GG. I managed to put it back 4-3.
You are victorious.
So from the jaws of defeat 3-1, I put some super effort in, super concentration, and managed to put it back to 4-3. So I'll just update the score. So 4-3. You see the money difference? He actually collected about, what's that, 50% more than me. But you see the units destroyed. I destroyed way more, probably mainly because those ranges in the end. What else? Your buildings lost. Like, he's concentrating on money. I'm concentrating on killing your stuff. You can see units destroyed, units lost for him. Sorry, buildings lost for him. So yeah, that's my kind of strategy in the air mirror. So GG, that is round 1 for the Ruiz tournament. You might have already seen the games in round 2 when I played Exiles. This might have been a bit of a anticlimax. You might have known who was going to win already, but I still wanted to go back and show him you because I didn't record him for some reason. I don't know why it didn't record when I played. So GG. Cheers for tuning in. Hopefully those games and that commentary helps you out a little bit, because sometimes when I'm playing I don't talk so much, so sometimes it is good for me to go back and watch some of my own games, even though I tend to not really like doing it. But GG, like this video if you enjoyed it. Remember to join us on Discord as well. Discord link is in the description, and support me on Patreon if you want to support this channel. So GG, cheers for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.